I didn't really get emotional about it. Like, obviously, I could go on Twitter and say just as vulgar things about her, but what is that going to do for me? Nothing. And I just don't, I wasn't talking about her. She was reacting to a headline, which was a headline I wasn't thrilled about. When people pull a word that I don't necessarily want to be associated with and put that in the headline, I get it. It sells magazines, but I'm not necessarily thrilled about it either. So, we live in a clickbait world, and it's always these crazy headlines. But, she still works in that world, and she has a different viewpoint on things.
Isn't it
and
interesting?
She's surrounded by people who kind of like to always tell you got to be grateful and you got to do this and you got to do that. And she's not in my life anymore, and I don't really comment back. And
it's interesting because I was just writing about this in my little journal about how you can grow up in a family with siblings. And I wrote a book about like my life growing up, and my sisters read it and said, whose life is this? Well, I didn't grow up in this childhood.
Right.
Because everyone's perception is so different.
Exactly.
And that it's not that her story's true or false or yours is true or false. It's just your story and her story.
Absolutely. And I was there a long time before she was. So I saw a lot of things she never saw, too. So it's just like, if she wanted to react to the book once, that's fine. But it's like, it's a year later. I'm not even talking about it anymore, really. So,
and when she goes as far as the sex comments and like, you're the cleanup girl, I mean, I'll be like, oh my God, how do you even respond to that?
I mean, it's gross, but I feel like anybody can come out this day and age. Like, I'm used to it. Like, even when I was 11 years old and I moved to Oregon from Alaska, I was like taller than the other girls. I was really shy. So that meant I was a slut. I'd never kissed a guy, but that meant I was a slut, and I was trying to get everybody's boyfriend, and everybody hated me. So I feel like I've just been dealing with that kind of like slut shaming, internet troll thing for so long. And when it's coming from her, I have my suspicions of, where this is coming from, and it's all really hypocritical, and I just don't feel like I want to lower myself and go there and really like respond in any way other than I wish you the best. Bye.
Is her show produced by Playboy?
It's produced by someone who's a very close friend of Hugh Hefner's, and he used to produce my spinoff as well, and he was a friend for many years, but he's also very, very loyal. And when you're in that culture, you're still in that culture. I mean, I don't watch her show, but somebody even pointed out to me that Hugh Hefner's name is like in the credits of the show. So it's basically like you're still in that world, and you're still kind of dependent on that in a way.
Hef, God bless him. He's, I will agree with one thing that Kendra says about like he knows that it's a weird thing to date 20-year-old women. He's going to have his own accountability and his own story, but he, is probably doesn't even know what's going on right now. He's kind of that old now.
Yeah.
If you ran into him, any hard feelings against him? Anything you'd say?
No, because I feel like I don't really care. And I don't mean that in a callous way, like I don't care. But even after I left the mansion, I realized that this person I had cared about was so much an invention in my head that even when I was still working with that producer I was talking about on my spinoff, he was always like, do you want to call Hef? Do you want to talk to Hef? And I was like, no, because I don't even know what I would say. Like, I don't know this person. I know how he treated me and how he treated the other women when I was there, but I don't know this person in some ways. You know what I mean?
Right,
And I just feel like I've moved on and he's moved on, and I can't even imagine wanting to say anything.